I want to talk to you guys today about running a 7-figure system. Vic, you fired up? Hey, anybody fired up on this call, or did I hurt some feelings? I didn't hurt any feelings. We're all in this together. All right, let me pull some slides up. Who wants to learn how to run a 7-figure system? All right, let's transition. It is not the most talented person on this call that is going to win the biggest. I want you to hear me on this one. In a lot of ways, I would say that led by me, our hierarchy has been a very talent-driven business. The next 18 years, we are going to be a system-driven business. You don't have to be a great speaker. You don't have to come from the right side of the tracks. You don't have to have the best market. The person who runs this system the best is going to win the biggest over the next 10 years. That's it. Because I could be over here busy building Steve's Steakhouse, and Tina's over there building the McDonald's franchising rights. Outpacing me, out-duplicating me, out-visionarying me. And because her vision for her life is bigger, and I'm over here trying to be in control of my steakhouse, 5 years later, I still have the same 12 people coming to meetings, and she's promoted 7, 8, 9 franchisors. That's the difference. I'm going to lay out our system. Vic, that timer takes me to the end of my section, right? All right, let's get into it. All right, so we have a system that's predicated on recruiting. That's why I started with recruiting. So when we recruit somebody to our business, the first thing we do is we talked about the 7-day standard. So what's the 7-day standard? Well, it's at least they get their personal plan done. They get into licensing, and you probably get them in front of a few people. Okay? We're going to talk about standard in a second. 90% of the people that we recruit should accomplish the 7-day standard. I don't care what your standard is. If you ask me what mine is, I'll tell you. And I think you should probably consider the same. But 90% of the people that we recruit should adhere to the 7-day standard. If they're not adhering to the 7-day standard, there's a hole in the bucket. There's a hole in the system. Listen, this is a tight machine. If we're loosey-goosey and we have low standards and everybody doesn't get the same experience, we're not going to duplicate. The second step is pre-licensed and promoted. You notice that the funnel gets smaller. Why? Because we're going to lose some people in the first 7 days. What do you mean? I mean that not everybody you recruit is going to be with you long-term. Wow. I thought everybody was going to follow everything. Well, there's more information online on how to get fit, yet obesity is at an all-time high. So if it was just about giving people information and them winning, then everybody would be fit. But it's the opposite. Some people lose their dream. Some people started for the wrong reason. Sometimes we recruit people without telling them really what this is. Sometimes we recruit people without setting a bar or setting a standard. So the second step is the funnel is pre-licensed and promoted in the first 30 days. 80% of our recruits should get their promotion and pass all their certification exams or state exam in the first 30 days. No excuses. But Steve, that they're busy. Well, then they shouldn't have been coded. They shouldn't have been coded. We're starting a business. We're getting into business. Business takes work. We got to put some time aside. Third step is licensed. Our aim from the time somebody starts, it should be to get 50% of the people that we bring on board through licensing. And if you're running a team that's recruiting 4 people a quarter, your licensing percentage is irrelevant. I'm talking about running a real recruiting number base shop, right? Putting real numbers in. 50% of our teammates should be getting licensed. What's after license? It's net license. 25% of our recruits should make their first $1,000 in the first 90 days. That should be the target. But not everybody we recruit is going to get to net license, are they? No. So are we going to stop? Are we slow down for the ones that aren't doing it? Are we going to baby everybody? Are we not going to run through the system? Are we not going to take them on any appointments? Are we going to hold back on their associate promotion until they get licensed because we don't want to blow them out? Are we leading weak or leading strong? Are we running a system or are we running a personality-driven, depending on how I feel, how my emotions are the day I recruit them, business? And all you have to do is look behind you to see how many people are following you. How many people can do what you do at the level that you do it at, and that'll tell you how effective you are running the system. The amount of people that can do exactly what you do in your base shop at basically the level that you do it at is a direct reflection of how well you're running the system. So I hope it's not just passing you by right now. I hope this is not just another talk. So what happens after that license? You become a certified field trainer. I'm going to talk about all these in a sec. I'm going to break them all down for you. Don't worry. And then guess what? They become marketing directors. The herd thins. The cream rises. Then they get their 50K watch. Then they promote an MD. Then they get their ring. And then they become an SMD. That's the finished product. Let me blow your mind on a thought right now. You guys ready? Wait for it. Here's the boom. If you complete this 3 times, you'll make 300 grand a year. Hold on. Let me repeat that because I don't think you heard me. If you can take 3 people from the top of this funnel to the bottom, you make 300 grand a year. 3 people. That's it. So are you in the game? Are you obsessed? Or are you running people through the filters? 3 people, 300 grand a year, residual. Are you ready for the next one? If you can get 6 people top to bottom, you're making $500,000 a year. I don't know anybody who's gotten only 6 people through this funnel and not made $500,000 a year. 6 people. 6. You're recruiting 10 a month. Surely we can get 6. Some of you can be doing 3 a year. Eyes closed. If you're in the duplication game, if you're running your boutique steakhouse and it's just about you and your location and your income, this isn't going to happen for you. If you're ready to run a McDonald's franchising system, a Dunkin' Donuts, expand all over North America, right? It's more about how great your team is and you're ready to lead by example with personal recruiting, then this is going to happen. And let me blow the last lid. You get 9 people through this by leading by example, you're making $750,000 a year. But you're not going to do it on 9 personal recruits a year. It'll never happen. You're not going to do it without a recruiting standard. You're not going to do it if you don't have a vision for your business. Why would you endure? Why would you put yourself through the challenge of recruiting somebody, losing some here, some here, some here, some here? Why would you put yourself through that? That growth is uncomfortable. Why would you put yourself through that growth if you don't know exactly why you're here? And the answer is you won't. You won't do it. You won't change. You won't grow. You won't change if you don't know why you're doing it. But if you know why you're here and you're hungry and you got a little desperation in you, you get 9 people through this funnel, you're making almost $1 million a year. So let me ask you a question. What's easier? What's easier? Paying off 7 rental properties. Okay, listen to me. Paying off 7 rental properties. Buying 5 franchises. Putting $10 million in the bank or $5 million in the bank, cash. Or finding 3 people in North America you can run through these filters. Oh, but Steve, it's so hard. It's so hard. Yeah. Some days. I guess compared to what? Go talk to your oncologist. He'll tell you what hard is. She'll tell you what hard is. Go talk to somebody that's lost a loved one. They'll tell you what hard is. So here it is. And Vic's going to drop it in the chat. This is our progression. Speed is the name of the game. 7-day standard. We roll them into pre-licensed and promoted. As soon as somebody passes their exams, they should go on 10 qualified appointments with their field trainer. Nobody's really trained in my base until they've been on 10 qualified training appointments with their trainer. And you send somebody out on their own after 3 qualified appointments, they're going to get machine gunned like crazy. 10 qualified appointments. It's a market exchange. They exchange their market one time to get back markets for the rest of their career. If they're not taking their trainer in the market, they're probably not going to succeed here long term as a builder. Then they get a license in 90, become a CFT, and the rest is history. So let's break this down. Let's talk about the 7-day standard. So I want you to think about your business right now. The first 7 days that you recruit somebody, what's the expectation? What's the standard? This is your time to set the tone. When you bring somebody on board in the first 7 days, this is your one opportunity to set the tone. After 7 days, there's no tone setting opportunity. Early on in my relationship, I set the tone. My wife set the tone for me too. I set the tone. Let me give you an example. I was on my second date with my wife. Her aunt had worked with another big company in Canada. Between some bad information, my girlfriend, now wife, thought WFG was a scam. We're on our second date. And I looked her in the eye and said, hey, if this is going to go a third date, I need to tell you something. She's like, what's up? Must have been a good date. I said, if we're going to stay together long term, I have this presentation thing on Wednesday nights at the office, and you're going to be at every single one for as long as we're together. And my wife has not missed a BPM in 18 years. I set the tone early in my relationship. Do you set the tone early in your business relationship, or does your new teammates walk all over you? Does your new person who works at Aldo tell you how to run the business? Does the girl that you just recruited who's $40,000 in debt, has she really convinced you really hard that she can't make Wednesday nights? Susan's really busy on Wednesday nights. Yeah, but she's 52 years old and flat broke. Don't you think that she should probably start doing some different things? Who's dictating here? Who's setting the tone? People that don't set a tone with their teammates end up losing those teammates 6-7 months from now, because without a tone setting, people are soft. They're weak. We baby them. And all of your teammates that you baby will eventually quit. They'll eventually quit. Every single person that I babied in WFG has quit the business. Everyone. They've all quit. All the ones that I set a high standard, I recruited Chad Thompson. I said, I need a top 25 list and you need to get your license this weekend. He's like, oh, I work weekends. I said, take it off. He took the weekend off. He got his exams done in a week. Then I said, if you want to win big, a couple weeks later, you got to come to this big event and spend like $1,000. He's like, well, I make all my bread. I said, if you want to win big, he goes, I'm there. And then a few months later, he was playing basketball. And because I challenged him a couple times, I said, hey, I noticed you're playing basketball Monday nights. He goes, yeah. I said, how much are they paying you to play? He's like, they're not. I said, yeah, maybe you should run a business on Monday nights. And he did. You can't set the tone 3 months from now if you don't set the tone the first 7 days. All my best leaders had the tone set early on. You got to get them on a path to greatness. You think it's just a silly 7-day standard. You know what it is? If they can hit the 7-day standard, they can get to SMD. You are showing them a path of greatness. You're making sure that you're setting them up to win. Because remember, what comes after the 7-day standard? PLP 30. If they have a weak first 7 days, they're not going to get their promotion the first 30. And now we've missed the first 2 filters. I showed you the 90%, 80%. If you don't hit the first 7-day standard and then you don't hit PLP 30, there's like an 80% chance they're going to quit. This is about running the system. Duplication. Everybody gets the same experience. And guess what? This all begins in the follow-up interview. Every single time you're about to bring somebody on board to your team, you need to lay out the standard before you bring them on board. Hey, listen, Chad, just before we bring you on board, let me tell you about our team and our 7-day standard. Here's what's going to happen the first 7 days. We got Wednesday, Saturday training that you need to be on. Okay? Tomorrow night, I'm going to meet with you and your wife, and I'm going to get your personal plan done. We're going to get you client stuff moved over. We're going to get you set up properly, right amount of insurance, on track to retire. You're going to love it. You're going to be so fired up, man. It's going to be one of the best parts. I can't wait. I'm so excited to get you on board as a client. The day after that, we're going to get you into licensing. And we got to get you in licensing right away, brother, because you can't get paid without a license. We got to get all your certification exams done in the first 30 days. And other than that, we're going to get in front of your top 3 people. Listen, your field training is going to start when you get licensed. You're going to get me in front of the top 3 people that you want to be in business with. And that's going to be our first 7 days in the business. Do you see any reason that we can't accomplish all those things? No, I'm on board. All right, let's get you coded. See, that's a standard. That's the conversation. That's what needs to start happening moving forward. Does that make sense, you guys? So whatever your expectation is, whatever your standard is, you got to adhere to it. Okay, now let's talk about PLP 30. We hit our 7-day bonus, and now we're after PLP 30. So let me tell you this. I want you to get obsessed. Write this down. Obsessed with getting people their promotion the first 30 days. You want to change your business? You want more people to call? You want to make more money as a trainer? You want to rise up? You want to get promoted fast? You want to duplicate fast? You want to get financially free fast? You want to get more people through that funnel quicker? You want to promote 3, 6, 9 big leaders? You want to duplicate all across North America? You got to get obsessed with PLP 30. It's got to be in your language. You are the licensing coordinator. Eric's classes are great. It's not a solution for our licensing hole. We have to be better at licensing. We have to be sitting down with people. Trapper is a great example. His last recruit, he sat down with her, got her license in like 3 weeks. She had tried this business before and quit because she couldn't get through it. Trapper was the licensing coordinator for his team, and he got somebody who had zero chance in her mind of getting it, and he got her through it. Let me tell you something. Running a system sells people the dream. You want to sell people the dream? Sell them on the system. You want to complicate this thing and lower people's belief in whether they can do it? Run no system. Just go on your personality. You know what they're going to say? I can't close like he closes. He gave the Academy Awards of presentations. I don't even know what I'm doing. I have no experience here. You want to know why most people who quit end up quitting? They don't think they can do it. Yes or yes? So if you're not running a system or leaning on a system or always referencing a system, you know what they're thinking in the back of their head? I'm not as good as Tina. Chad's a really good speaker. John's got a good market. Blah, 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 blah. You know why people love McDonald's? Because there's a system. See, we forget about that. We forget about how running a tight system, like I just laid out, how running the system sells people the dream. So why should they get their first promotion in the first 30 days? Number one is it unlocks a 38% increase in pay. You want to retain your people? You get them their first promotion. They write their first sale as an associate. Write this down. Nobody on my team should ever get paid as a training associate. You should never get paid as a training associate, ever. There should never be a day where anybody on your team gets paid as a TA. It also unlocks new markets. Steve, I have nobody to call. I have no meetings on the books. Yeah, but go recruit somebody and help them get their first promotion. Now there's a whole bunch of people to train, whole bunch of new markets to go into, whole bunch of new sales. The reason that your production's down is because nobody on your team is getting their promotion the first 30 days. It's like recruit, let them hang dry, and then they quit. Recruit, hang dry, quit. Like it's just the cycle. People should be getting the promotion the first 30 days. Why do they get started? Why are they telling you what they want to do? Why are they telling you when they're going to go in the field? Why are they telling you how many appointments they should go on? You're the leader. You're running the business. They bought the franchise from you. You sold them the McDonald's. You're showing them the system. It's like, hey, here's a McDonald's. It's $500 to get a McDonald's. And then why don't you just run your own system? Wow. They think that that's the best way, don't they? And 4 weeks in, they quit. And they'll say, oh, it's like bad timing, and I'm not this, I'm passionate, and blah, 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 blah. It's lack of belief that they can run the system. If everybody believed that they could do it, nobody would quit. Nobody. It unlocks product learning. Steve, I want to learn about the product. I want to learn all about the product first. Great, let's get your first promotion and learn all about it. Well, what do you mean? Well, let's get your first promotion. Your sale is going to get done, and the 2 sales on your teammates, you're going to see 3 sales. Hey, Chad, how would you like me to show you 3 full sales, start to finish, so that you could get a great understanding of this business? Yeah, Oh, that sounds awesome. Great. So I'm going to write up your plan and we're going to get your first promotion and you're going to see 3 sales. It's going to be the best product training you've ever had. Okay. Everybody does it. Everybody does it. This is how it's done. Okay. Pickles go in here, ketchup goes here, mustard, then the tomato, then the lettuce. Okay. So what was it again? It was the ketchup, then the tomato, then the lettuce. Okay, awesome. What was it again? It was the ketchup, then the tomato, then the lettuce. Or is it the lettuce, the tomato? No. Tomato, then the lettuce. Okay. You guys get my point? Because if we don't have that kind of system mentality, guess what? If we're having a bad day or you're having a fight with your spouse, guess what happens? You lead people weak. Don't you? You take shortcuts. You have a tummy ache. My tummy hurts. Shortcut. Not feeling great about myself. Shortcut. It also adds energy and excitement to your team. And lastly, it insulates the new recruit. It insulates them. Nobody quits if they have fear of loss. I can count on 2 hands how many teammates I've had quit that had an active teammate. Hardly ever happens. You want to increase your retention, your licensing ratios. So let's go back up, right? You want to increase how many people stick around long term? Find them teammates. I got people 4 or 5 deep. I got a leg 5, 6, 7 deep. The person at the top hasn't written a sale. They're not even licensed. They've been here 5, 6 years. They don't do anything in this business. Nothing. But they haven't quit yet. I got people who have had 2 or 3 people pass them to SMD. Haven't quit yet. Why? Fear of loss. What happens if I quit? I give all that up. See, you think, and I think at times that it's our personality that's going to keep people. We beat ourselves up because we're not a good leader when people quit. We beat ourselves up because, oh, here we go again, all this stuff. No, it's our inability to run an effective system. The system is broken. Is everyone going to make it? No, but the numbers should be the numbers. So now we're PLP 30. Now we're going to get into license. Hey, are you guys getting some value out of this so far? Right? Put something on the chat. Tell me what you're getting out of this so far. Right? Now we're licensed in 60. Now you got a brand new teammate. You did a follow-up interview strong. 90% did the 7-day standard. 80% got PLP 30. 60 days, 50% of your recruits now are getting licensed. By the way, this is the exact system Daniel Fulmer runs. So we're on the right track. And he has a 40% licensing ratio. And he's on his way to 50, he said. So 50%. So now I want you to imagine this. You got a licensed agent in 60 days. They passed their provincial. They're ready to go. Number 1 is you've locked them in as a crusader because they're already a client. So this is lethal. Listen to me on this one. You have a licensed crusader. Yeah, you could have crusaders who are not licensed and go around telling everybody about the product. You know what's more effective than somebody without a license talking to people about what they do? Somebody that has a license. People that have a license talking about how passionate they are have more credibility because they have a government license. So they're already a client. But their belief has increased too because now they've seen 3 appointments and 3 client sales with PLP 30. So listen to me, they're licensed in 60 days. They've seen 3 sales start to finish. They know exactly what this thing is about. They know how you're going to make them feel. They know how to edify their trainer. They've told their story many times in the field. They've sold themselves the dream many nights on Zoom calls. And now they're excited because they have 2 to 3 teammates in licensing. Any associate promotion has to have people in licensing. 2230 or 3330, we will not promote anybody that doesn't have all those recruits in licensing. It's not 3 recruits. It's 3 recruits that are in licensing. I wouldn't promote anybody to associate that doesn't have all 3 of those teammates in licensing. Who cares about recruiting? We're a licensing team. Duplication. You're 60 days in, and this new teammate has been to 16 Wednesday and Saturday trainings. 16! And they're only 1.15 hours each. That's only twice a week. Man, you know what that is? That's a gym membership. That's like your teammate working out twice a week at Good Life. You can't even get into shape barely working out 2 days a week. They're barely in shape here. Yes, They've been to 16 trainings. But that's not the best part. The best part is they're already a client. They've seen 3 clients. They have 2 to 3 teammates in licensing, and they've been to 16 trainings. Does that make sense? Here's the alternative. They're in licensing and they've been to 16 trainings, but none of the stuff in between has happened. No recruiting, no sales. Haven't seen any client stuff. And guess what? Then they're going to quit. You went to all that work. All that work. Well, Steve, we license 50% of people in our base shop. Yeah, but you're recruiting one person every other month. Doesn't count. And that person's probably going to quit anyway. You just took the time to license them. Because what keeps people is not the license. It's teammates. License gets them paid quicker, which will help. But insulating them with a team means they'll be with you forever. Now they become net licensed. It should be our goal and through our language that, hey, Tina, I'm going to bring you on board. In your first 90 days, you should expect to make $1,000. That should be your expectation. Tina, are you coachable? Yeah, are you willing to run the system with me? You put your faith in me, right? Me and Chad, we got you, girl. We're going to take care of you. We know why you're here. We know how much this means to you. But here's what I want you to do. I don't want you to coach yourself the next 90 days. I want you to let me lead you. Can you do that for me, Tina? Can you follow everything that I say if I can teach you how to be successful? All right. Within 90 days, you're going to make your first $1,000 here. It's not a ton of money, but let me tell you why that's going to be important, Tina. Number one is because there's a 90% of retention past 2 years. Man, you're a great friend of ours. The last thing that I want to see from you is you quitting for some weird reason. But I know that if this company can pay you $1,000 because of the hard work you're going to put in, you're not going anywhere, sister. $1,000 in your account. I want to picture that. Imagine that. What are you going to do with that money? What that's going to do is it's going to increase your belief that this is real. Because right now, Tina, you probably agree with me that you're probably really excited, but there's still a part of you that's wondering if this is real. Is that fair? Like that you really hope this is going to work out? Guys, all of our teammates are thinking that. I don't care what they tell you. There's a part of them that's wondering if this thing's even too good to be true. You put $1,000 in their account the first 90 days, they know it's real. They're going to get recognized on the board, and progress is happiness. Tina, a great mentor of us all, Tony Robbins, a long time ago said, hey, progress is happiness. And if I can get you feeling that you're progressing, right? And all you've really done is you've done filter 1, 7-day standard, filter 2 is PLP 30, license in 60, and net license in 90. You're only through 4 filters, but look at all the great things you've accomplished. But through 4 filters, Tina, you're halfway to senior broker. Wow. How exciting is that? Tina, Chad and I have a game plan this year. We're going to promote 6 people to senior broker. And all we got to do is help you get through these steps. You think you could be one of those people? All right, girl. Speed is the name of the game. Speed is the name of the game. Now let's talk about certified field trainer. Certified field trainer. Write this down. A CFT is someone who is capable and willing to do whatever it takes ethically and morally to accomplish their goals for their dreams on a monthly basis. Wow. A CFT is someone who is capable, so who knows how to do it, and is willing to do whatever it takes ethically and morally to accomplish their goals on a monthly basis. CFTs are held to a high standard. The highest standard. Second highest standard. MD's the highest. There's strong daily accountability. Every CFT reports daily accountability or they're not a CFT. They're asked to step down. What's a certified field trainer if they can't be accountable on a daily basis? It's like running a business and not being accountable for your profit. Now, I will say, if you're an SMD that expects accountability from your team, you better be leading by example with your activity in recruiting. It's going to be hard to get accountability from people if you're not leading by example. There's got to be evidence that you're in the game. Good news is all our SMDs are. But remember that, MDs, as you grow, you got to be leading by example. You can't be recruiting 3 directs a year and expecting to get accountability. CFT is the glue that holds the base shop together. Your CFTs is the glue that's going to hold your base shop together. And they're the flag carriers for the message. They're system driven. and they're your future frontline leaders. Write this down, please. Duplication is freedom. Duplication is freedom. You show me your CFTs, and that's all that I need to know. The amount of certified field trainers that you have on your team is a direct reflection of your business. It's a direct reflection of the vision or where you came from or where you're going. It tells some part of the story. But it definitely tells you where you're heading. The more CFTs that can do what you do at the level that you do it at, the faster the trajectory that you're on. The tighter the program that you run, the faster you're going to get there. So now you get to CFT. Now you want to become a marketing director. At a marketing director, the group gets smaller. Okay. MDs are the tip of the spear. So they get, so the base shop is this big, the CFT is this big, and the MD pool is this big. Higher personal expectations as an MD. It's the highest expectations that I have in my base shop are for my active marketing directors. Higher personal commitments. I expect more from them because I give them more. All the MDs are earning between $50,000 to $100,000 a year. Marketing directors between $50,000 to $100,000 a year. Minimum. 50, usually max up just over 100. Mostly full-time. 95% of marketing directors are full-time. This is all they do. They're putting in their time because they're leading by example. All MDs are renting offices. They're contributing to the environment. They're in the office 4 or 5 days a week. They're showing up. They have at least a half an office. All the MDs have at least a half an office. They all have a clear vision and are chasing their dream. Every single marketing director has a clear vision and is chasing their dream. They're all over it. They know exactly why they're here. They all have a game plan. They're all reading it every single morning because there's a higher level of accountability. And if you're a marketing director who's not reading their goals and not getting after it, and you have that higher level of accountability, it's going to help change you. It's going to help challenge you. So you want to make sure that as an MD, right, you're following the platform, you're following the program. And MDs are the ones that help shape the culture of the team. Marketing directors shape the culture of the team. They're the first to step up in the SMD absence, and MDs are always running training independent of the SMD. Marketing directors are running training independent of the SMDs. My marketing directors 3 months ago they didn't even ask, they started running a high impact training on Monday nights. Nabby's like, hey, just want to let you know your MDs are organizing a next level academy and we don't need you at it. We got it. They've been running it for the base shop for several months now, helping the base shop do 250,000 points a month. My MDs generated 250,000 points last month. My MDs. Why? Base shop, CFT, MD. Do I have a couple MDs who can't spell WFG, who haven't seen it in 4 years? Yeah, I'm not talking about them. I'm talking about MDs that are in the game. Now they make their 50K watch. All MDs make 50K a year, minimum. That's the expectation. Replaces most income. So why is your 50K watch important? Let me tell you this. That's not why you're here, but it's the first and hardest income milestone to hit is your 50K watch. It builds confidence. But here's the thing. It proves to the team that this works. Results matter. You're a marketing director. If you're not making $50,000 a year yet, you need to get there because you need to prove to your team that this works. Making $35,000 a year as a marketing director isn't proving to your team that this works. Does that make sense? You have to prove to your team this works. Your job is to prove it. Prove it. Prove it. This is the greatest business in the world. Prove it. Show me the money. Go get some results. Fired up. I'm not talking about 100 grand. I'm talking about 50. You continue to earn your leadership level, right? Once you get to 50, you've earned a new leadership level. And last, a marketing director that has not crossed 50K yet is an experienced associate with an MD contract because they're not running the volume yet. They're just not running the volume yet. Doesn't mean they're bad people. They're just an EA, experienced associate. They're not running the volume yet. Okay, if you have an MD making 20 grand a year, they're doing one meeting every second week. MD making 30 grand a year, 2 meetings a week. MD making 50 grand a year is running 4 to 5 meetings a week. MD making 100 grand a year is running 8 to 10 meetings a week. That's simple. Now that you make your 50K watch, now we build an MD. Here's how we build an MD. The SMD now reaches down, overlaps with leadership. right? Identifies the strongest players. So I have all my MDs. I'm constantly looking for the strongest player. I'm messaging that person more. I'm bringing them in. I'm building a relationship. I'm leading by example to show that person what's possible. And from that, it increases my leadership level with that person, right? It's my job to help reach down and build that MD. The SMD starts to pour in mentally to these people. Mentally. You'll notice, because if you're an MD and you're starting to build an MD, what do? In my base, I latch onto that person. I get into their head. I teach them how to think. We're building a relationship. I want to teach them how to think about things. Each MD should have 3 strong legs prior to SMD. Every person that goes SMD should have 3 legs that are MDs or really close to MD before they go SMD. Okay? That's what building an MD is. Next up, 100K ring. Okay, so you build an MD, system progression, and now it's 100K. So why is 100K important? Most SMDs in WFG drop at SMD. It's one of the fascinating things about our company. 90% of people that hit SMD at some level immediately fall back. And I don't know why it is, but I think it's because you can work less hard to make the same amount of money. SMD is 66%. You can make 150 grand a year if you off your own pen. You don't even need to build. Our contracts are so high. You can make 150 grand off your own pen, right? So what happens is that we tend to make the same amount of money on less effort, and we work less hours. So why do I want you to make 100,000 as an MD? To show yourself what's possible. 100K at MD, you can do it working full-time hours. You got to prove to yourself that you can make money at MD. Getting to SMD is not going to make you more money. It's not. Go talk to SMDs. Your income does not go up at SMD unless you are writing a bunch of business at MD. In fact, your income goes down at SMD if you don't have a big team at MD or aren't producing at MD. SMD doesn't mean anything in terms of income. Nothing. I'll tell you who's leading by example is Brent Locke. Brent Locke's about to get a 100K ring as an MD. That guy's a stud. Right? Nabi Gani, same thing. Nabi and Brent, 2 MDs to get a 100K ring. They're popping out like popcorn right now. There's 2 or 3 more that are going to get their 100K ring in the next 90 days. It means you've mastered the client side. Why would you want to be a senior broker if you haven't mastered the client side yet? It means that you're being the example. Wouldn't it be important to be the example to your team? Your team will do 50% of what you do right? And you want to set the tone for your base shop. Everybody that gets their ring at MD can tell their people to get their ring at MD, right? Everybody who got close to their 100K ring can say, hey, you got to get real close to your 100K ring. This is a new era. What me and Chad were able to do back in the 1964 when we started has nothing to do with what you can do today in 2023, you guys. It's virtual. It's better. It's easier. The products pay way more money. Equitable Life has doubled their compensation since I started. You got to set the tone in your base shop. Okay, moving on. Now you get to SMD. Let's talk about getting to SMD. Write this down. The ultimate testament to duplication is promoting lots of SMDs. Hope you're taking notes, Trey. Trey's like, I'm writing notes with my pen, with my foot. The ultimate, I'm just teasing you, Trey. The ultimate testament to duplication is promoting frontline SMDs. Steve, I'm a builder. I'm a duplicator. Frontline SMDs. SMD should be promoted on the standard, not the minimum. We need to change our language around SMD. Here's the minimum to get to SMD. 10 licenses, 1 MD, 75,000 points in 90 days, and 35K cash flow. That's the minimum standard. Let me tell you what the standard is. Here's the standard. It's 20 licenses. It's 20 people showing up to meetings. It's 225,000 points, 12-month rolling. It's your 100K ring, and it's 3 strong legs. That's the standard. Now, we can't change the past. All we can do is raise the standard moving forward. What do you think you have a best shot at getting to EMD and CEO doing 1 or 2? See, everybody's in such a hurry to go. And by the way, if you've been around a while, like you've been here 6-7 years and you're close, you should take your SMD promo. I'm not saying don't take it. I'm saying everybody who is a training associate right now and an MD, new MD, sound of my voice, you should plan to go this way. I don't even know if I'm going to promote on 75K 90-day rolling anymore, to be honest. It's 12-month, 225,000 points to go SMD. That's what it is. Why would you want to surge for 90 days, get a promotion, fall back, and never get there again? That's the old days. That's how we used to think. The new era, the digital era, the Zoom era, right? How easy it is now to do, how much faster it is, system progression. This should be the standard. This is what you should be fighting for. But I want to start to wrap on this. I want to write this word down. Standards. Standards. Write that word down. Standards. Write on your paper. Standards. See, our habits and our behaviors are a reflection of the standards that we set for our life. You always find a way to get your standard, don't you? You know, motivation is temporary, but our standard is our identity. Doesn't matter what we say. Our standards scream so loudly in our ears in all areas of our lives. See, talk is cheap. There's a reason that our EMDs on this call are EMDs. There's a reason that Jared Sleds is making $500,000 a year on his way to 750. There's a reason that Chad and Jen are on pace to DDR and hit 120 recruits this year. There's a reason for it. Because they've changed their identity. If you're struggling financially right now, there's a reason, because that's your standard. Your standard is to struggle. If you're flat in this business right now, that's your standard. You are at your standard. If you are flat in this business, listen to me. If you're flat, you've met your standard. You're right up against it. You're hitting it. If you're exploding your income right now, you're chasing the standard. If your business is going like that, like Brian Burrows, he's chasing a new standard. But if your income is shrinking, you've surpassed the standard. You've exceeded your expectation and you're starting to regress and come back down to the standard. You're always going to get your standard. You're always going to get paid what you think your identity is. It's true. There's no fooling it. And that's why I started with Chad Thompson to talk about personal growth and changing your identity. The reality is that most human beings in our world are comfortable in their own filth, in their own situation. So much so that they're okay to whine about it from time to time. But they're not desperate enough to do anything about it. They're okay to whine about it, but they're not desperate enough to change it. Anybody know any of those people? Just enough to whine, not desperate enough to change. Well, wait till the heart attack comes. And then maybe we'll be desperate. People, the world, they love complaining and blaming and sulking and playing victim because it's easier to do than change a standard. Complaining about the world is easier to do than the standard. Blaming this group and blaming that group and I don't feel heard and blah, 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 blah. That's your excuse to have a low standard for your life. Because taking responsibility for our life is the real work. Getting up at 5 a.m. and doing a HIIT workout when no one's watching is the real work. Making 30 phone calls on Sunday when nobody's at the office is the real work, when it's 30 degrees outside. And until we are sick and tired of being sick and tired, not much ever changes, does it? Not much ever changes, does it? I don't know exactly what happened to you, Chad, right around November. But I bet you, if we got to talking, something significant probably happened for you in November. Maybe you came to a realization. Maybe you had a moment and you hit rock bottom. And guess what happened? Boom, Chad broke out. See, none of what we talked about today matters if you don't decide to set a new standard. If you leave this call with the same standard that you had coming in, nothing changes. How was Friday Night Lights? Unbelievable. But nothing changed. How was your meeting? Oh, so good, but nothing's changed. How was it? So great, but we still threw up 2 in June. How was it? Unbelievable, but we did no personal recruits this summer. Wow, that good, hey? Nothing changed. A new standard, both personal and team. A new do or die commitment that you're going to show your team what this is all about. We're not going to hide behind our leadership title. We're not going to hide behind fancy presentations and trainings. and tenure, we're going to lead by example. And if you feel ready, like I can tell most of you are, if you feel like you're at a place where you're sick and tired of being sick and tired, and you don't want to feel the way you feel anymore, and you want to make a huge change, then you're ready. Now we build. Now we just play the game. Because man, this is the best game in the world. This game is amazing. It's so much fun. It's so rewarding. It's so challenging. It's so fruitful. I don't know another game in the world that you can play, and as you win, you can teach other people to win too. I don't know another game in the world that has this kind of horsepower, or that's this worth it, or that you can wake up 18 years into your career and have a life that you never dreamed of. But you could dream it because you did dream it, and you went to work when everybody else told you that you were crazy, when everybody was trying to get you to quit, when everybody was sleeping on their recruiting numbers, when everybody was showing up year after year after year with low standards and low recruiting and low personal, years into the business. You're in the office on Saturdays and Sundays, grinding it, getting wide. Recruit 2, 3 quit. Recruit 4, 7 licenses quit. But you stuck with it and you endured. It's possible for every single person on this call. But it's time to raise the standard. Who's in? Who's ready to raise the standard? I love you guys. We're in this together. We're on the greatest team ever assembled in the history of the financial services industry, in the history of business today. I will go to war about that. I will stand on a pedestal. I will scream that from the mountaintops. There's not another team in business today that has what we have or is going where we are going. We have the best leaders, the best SMDs, the best up-and-coming marketing directors this company has ever seen. So I'm blessed to be here. I'm excited. We'll see you guys on training tomorrow. And everybody else, we will see you at the top. Thank you for being here tonight, everybody. Have an awesome night. And I'll see you at the next Friday Night Lights.